Welcome back, everyone, to another Wednesday edition of Chatting with Kathy. So, if you're new here, my name is Kathy. I am a registered nurse, mother of 4, grandmother of 2. I'm also a travel consultant, a former flight attendant, and a content creator here on YouTube, where I've been about 6 years now with my other channel called Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. So, grab your coffee. I got mine, or whatever you're drinking. And we're going to talk about some things today. If you saw the thumbnail, you know. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about today. And we're going to dive into 2 massive stories. Two of them that, for me, they just really hit a nerve where I want to say something about them. And I can, because I have some experience with both being a nurse and being a former flight attendant. So they're both massive travel news stories, and they have a lot of people talking and a lot of people panicking as well. Just let me know if you have, if you can't hear me, please let me know. I think we're okay, but just let me know in the chat if there's any issues. I will look right now just to see who's here. Okay, you guys will be rolling in the door. Hopefully catch up with me. So we're going to talk about the Frontier Airlines incident at the Denver airport. And we're going to discuss the dangerous, now listen to me. We're going to discuss the incredibly dangerous behavior of passengers during the emergency evacuation. And yes, passengers, dangerous. What the passengers did was very dangerous. So I'm putting on my aviation hat today to explain exactly why grabbing your belongings, your backpack, all that kind of stuff is bad, dangerous. Your carry-on bags need to just stay put when your plane is evacuating. So then we're going to talk about from my nursing experience, I want to talk about, and I have had to look into this a little bit, but the cruise ship Hantavirus that is circulating kind of viral about this Hantavirus that is killing people and putting them in the hospital. So I want to talk about that because the headlines are scary on that one. And before you cancel your upcoming vacations, let's get that cleared up a little bit. We also have an update on the Larry Millette case because they just now are going to trial. They picked a jury and it will be going on starting Monday, opening statements next Monday. So come on in and let's get busy. All right. I don't know if notifications aren't set or what. You guys are slow at rolling in this morning, but you can watch as the replay crew because I always appreciate that as well. So first I want to talk about, and please say hello if you're here in the chat because I would like to see who's watching this morning. So a 41-year-old man, his name is Michael Mott. He is the one that jumped the 8-foot wall gate fence at the Denver airport. So he ran literally, he kind of walked, from what I could tell in the video, onto the active runway and was struck by the Frontier Airlines Airbus A321. It was accelerating for takeoff, and I'm telling you, five seconds later, it could have been way more catastrophic than it was. The medical examiner did officially rule it a suicide, and the collision caused a brief engine fire and smoke in the cabin, and that forced the emergency evacuation of 224 passengers. So it's really dangerous to evacuate with bags. There's what's called the 90-second rule, and planes are designed to be fully evacuated in 90 seconds. After that, a smoke-filled cabin becomes toxic and deadly. So every second really truly counts. So when passengers stop to grab bags from under the seat or in the overhead bin, the flow of the evacuation stops. You know how long it takes to get off a dang plane when you're just normally getting to the gate because everybody's got to get their stuff together, get it out of the bin, get it from under the seat, hand me this, get me that, where's my phone, all that stuff. So anytime that the flow gets disrupted like that with people grabbing things, the flow of the evacuation just stops. And whoever's here, say hello. I don't see you guys in the chat yet. So people would be trapped behind them and they could literally die from smoke inhalation because someone wanted their laptop. So emergency slides are inflatable, right? They blow up with air. They're inflatable. So suitcases with hard edges, zippers, and wheels could destroy the slides, which can pop the slide. And then that exit is not work. It won't work. You can't go out there anymore. You'll kill yourself jumping. You know, it's very high up. I've jumped out of the slides in training more than once because I went to 2 different airline trainings. And when you stand up there and you're ready to jump, it looks very steep and high. Like you have to kind of jump out and let your butt bounce and go down. So once those slides are popped, that exit is useless. You cannot use it anymore. Let's see. So my kitty cat's going to jump up here. So that creates quite a problem. You're trying to jump off a slide that's really high up with all your crap, and who knows? I mean, and plus, if you're not holding on to the luggage, sorry, tail going by. Well, it could hit somebody in the head going down the slide, right? Or hurt them. I'm drinking my coffee very slowly this morning. So everyone on that side of the plane would be trapped, right? Turn around and go the other way. This exit is blocked now. So this is seriously dangerous to block the flow of traffic like that. And in this Frontier Airlines evacuation, at least 12 people were injured. So whatever happened did cause injuries. So leaving bags behind is not a suggestion. It's a life or death directive. Let me show you a video of these people evacuating and saying, I'm taking my stuff. I'm taking my stuff. Hold on. I had it up here. I will find it and share my screen with you. Okay. Here we go. Let me get the audio on. Oops, hold on. I got to share. Let me get it up here. I have it on my screen. I don't have it on yours. Okay, here we go. Let me rewind and turn the audio.
Leave the bags. Leave the bags. Leave the bags.
No, it's dark, but it was dark in there. Smoke cabin. I'm taking the hours on.
We'll be able to get
Okay.
Please leave all belongings. Please leave all belongings. Your belongings are safe. Your lives are more important. Please.
Both are important because I can't afford either.
You hear that?
Can we jump?
What lady say?
It's important because I can't afford either.
Your belongings are safe. Your lives are more important. Please.
Both are important because I can't afford either.
Can we jump? I'm assuming I'm this way.
backpack on that one.
I don't know where your mom is.
Camera out. That's important. You got a live stream, or you gotta have your camera out.
Yeah, come here.
More important.
Hey.
Not getting away from the aircraft. Just going over there to look at the engine.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Where's your
Get away
parents?
from the aircraft.
¿Dónde está tu-
People need to stay at the bottom to help. At least this guy, these people are doing it right here. They're helping people out. Yeah, so that's the problem. You know, that's really the problem. Is just not getting off that plane, dropping everything and getting off the plane ASAP. Orderly, listen to the directions. Although I would say, not to be an armchair flight attendant, but those flight attendants needed to be a little bit more aggressive with their instructions, like yelling at the people to leave everything, not just suggesting it. They were a little bit less aggressive than I think, or that you should be, that we were trained to be. So that's that one. And it's really crazy. The guy, I'll share this with you, who was the cause of this problem. Let me get that up. Well, it looks like this is going to be a major replay crew video. I don't know where everybody is this morning. You guys have been showing up for my lives on Wednesday. Everybody's MIA today. But please watch the replay if you're not able to stay for the whole thing, or you're not able to be here and you've peeked in. So some people have peeked in. There's a couple people in here now, but they're not talking in the chat. Okay, so this guy who, oh, hold on. Made this way too big. Okay, hold on. Having technical problem here. Let me just make this. It took up, I have this huge screen, and like, here comes the cat. Kitty cat, go away. Okay. He's messing with the. Go see your birdies. Go see your own entertainment over there. Hold on, I gotta put this in here. Kitty cat, please don't. Do not do that. Okay, the screen got messed up for a minute. Okay, let me share it with you. Hopefully. These things have these ads, and they jump the screen around. Share screen. Here we go. All right. Hello, Mama D. At least you got the memo. I don't know where everybody is this morning. Welcome, welcome. Okay, well, nice to see you. I think it's going to get glitchy for a minute, so I may not be able to do this whole thing on this guy, because when there's stuff opened, it gets a little glitchy. But this guy is the one who was ruled to have committed, suicide. And they did determine suicide. So here he is. This is the lovely guy that tried to take out over 200 people with him by walking onto an active runway to commit suicide, which is horrible. And these people that want to take others with them when they commit suicide are just the worst of the worst. So here's where he goes gets sucked into the engine. He was dismembered by the jet engine after he walked calmly. If you saw the video, just right in front of the engine, right when it was rolling down the runway. one of it, this mug shot, I don't know why he has Band-Aid. So he's been arrested quite a bit several times. His most recent arrest was just like last month. And it was not that long ago, and they let him out. This is the problem. They let people out sometimes way too simply. So he is from Pueblo, Colorado. And on April 10th, he was locked up for first-degree trespassing and damaging property at a facility, a home, a dwelling, it says, in Colorado Springs. And then he resisted arrest. So he apparently was homeless at the time. He was booked into the El Paso County Jail after that. And this is his most recent mugshot. He is 41. He looks like it. He doesn't look like a nice guy. So when he was 17 was the first time his career in criminal activity began. He was repeatedly arrested for minor infractions when he was younger, like shoplifting, underage alcohol consumption. You know, he started his life of crime back then. And then it says in February 2005, he was arrested for attempted murder using a gun. So he's not a good guy, like not at all. He's not just a little shoplifter anymore. And then he pled down to second-degree assault. So got out of jail, right? Causing serious bodily injury with a deadly weapon, and 6 years behind bars, but out free walking around after that. And then he was, while he was in prison, he was charged with felony assault using a weapon again. There he is on the runway, walking across the grass or whatever's right there. And here comes the plane, dead. He got sucked in. Those engines are incredibly, obviously very strong. And even when they're on the ground, just starting up, someone can get sucked into an engine. We were always taught to stay far away from the engines. Do not go in front or behind an engine. So in April 2010, he was free, and they picked him up then for felony domestic violence, menacing, and assault charges. I would love to know who his family is. Hey, Leighton, welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you for dropping in. Anyone else out there, say hello in the chat. Okay, Kitty Cat got bored of me, so hopefully he's gone now for a minute. So, in 2016, violent crimes, second-degree burglary, felony assault on a peace officer in 2020, and then in that one, the felony assault, the Montezuma County District Attorney's Office dismissed all 6 of the charges. You know, that to me is really super scary, letting these criminals out on the street. It's one thing that I really hate about California. They let a lot of people out, but clearly Colorado isn't doing the best job either. So between the violent felonies, Mott, who routinely skipped out on scheduled court dates, he was nabbed for driving under the influence, 1 hit and run, trespassing, fighting in public, violating protection orders, and resisting arrest on several occasions. Like, they know him well, clearly. And during one of his last 3 stints behind bars, he was charged with attempting to escape prison. That was in 2017. So they did not find a suicide note, but it is determined that the manner of death was suicide. Cause of death was obviously the dismemberment of his bodies. They are currently looking for anything, computers, anything, notes that could identify places where he recently was. That 8-foot fence, it's 8 foot, and it's topped with barbed wire. So kind of wild that he got over it like that. And he was only on the tarmac for 2 minutes. 2 minutes before he was struck by the plane. So it was at 11:19 p.m. I can only imagine sitting in the jump seat and being like, crap, what the heck was that? Coming to stop on the active runway. Mama D, right? Like just thinking about being the flight attendant. I think of being a flight attendant in the back right now for some reason. I don't know why. And then just being like, uh-oh, here we go. This is it. You know, we got it. Shit's happening. You could hear the recording of the pilot saying that we just hit somebody. I wonder if I can find that. But let me finish how he got over the fence. So he jumped the 8-foot perimeter fence and he was on the tarmac for 2 minutes and struck at 11:19. Wouldn't it? And then those people were stopping to look at the engine. It was really crazy. Like, get away from the plane. It was on its way to Los Angeles. And at the time of the collision, it was going 139 miles per hour. So it was just getting started. So seriously, it would have been just a few seconds more. The plane would have been lifting off. And that would have been a bigger problem than it already was. This is Facebook picture he posted on Facebook in September. So they found his Facebook September 21st, 2025. So just a few months back. And oh, here, shocking audio captured the moments when bewildered pilots aboard the flight smashed into Mott. They said, I do have limbs on the runway. I believe the aircraft struck an individual. There appears to be human remains on the runway. The 224 passengers and 7 crew members were safely evacuated, but there were injuries from the plane. And it's just really sad that you would try to do this and take people out with you, you know? Let me see if I can find the audio. Let me take this down. I was going to look for that. The audio of the pilot. Let's see. We can find the audio of the pilot. Audio. May I have a second because I didn't set that up. My SA works at SFO in those huge maintenance hangars back in the day, and that stuff happened more often. Yeah, stuff getting into the engines. Yeah, it's crazy. Like birds happen to get in those engines and cause the plane have to come back down a lot. But oh my God, human. But then there's been incidents of humans walking too close in front, like the baggage people or something. There was one not too long ago that I believe they thought was a suicide as well. Okay, let's see. Oh, kitty cat. My goodness, you're such a pain. Audio. Frontier Prime. Yeah, get down. You're such a pain. Let me find one. This is a news, but it doesn't say. I guess I got to go to somebody's YouTube. I mean, can you imagine? I'd be so scared. Sorry, this cat is being, no, he's such a pain in the ass. He's like a dog. He wants attention, although the dog's being better than the cat. Okay, let's see. Here's one. I don't know who this is, but it's a YouTube video with the audio. Okay. Pause. Okay. Share. Here it comes.
Frontier 4345, we're stopping on the runway. We just hit somebody. We have an engine fire.
Frontier 4345, I see that.
A disturbing new audio recording is shedding light on a horrifying incident at Frontier Airlines after one of its aircraft reportedly struck a person on a runway at Denver International Airport, leaving what pilots described as a devastating scene. According to newly surfaced air traffic control audio, Frontier pilots can be heard reacting in real time, moments after impact, with one crew member reportedly telling controllers there appeared to be body parts, limbs scattered on the runway. The chilling exchange captures the confusion and shock inside the cockpit as the crew tried to understand what had happened during runway operations.
Frontier 4345, we're stopping on the runway. We just hit somebody. We have an engine fire.
Frontier 4345, I see that.
Airport authorities later confirmed that a person was struck on the airfield. Emergency crews were immediately dispatched, and runway operations were temporarily disrupted while responders secured the scene. So far, officials have not publicly identified the victim or clarified how the individual ended up on an active runway. The Federal Aviation Administration and local law enforcement are expected to investigate whether there was a security breach and how the individual accessed the runway. At this stage, authorities have not indicated any fault on the part of the flight crew, but the newly released cockpit audio is already raising serious questions.
Let's see, where's the audio? Let me find the transcript. Maybe that'll help me get to the full audio. Okay. Transcript. 338. Okay. Let's see, it should be right here then. Yeah, Leighton. So this guy jumped the fence at Denver Airport and decided to take himself out by getting sucked into the engine on the plane. And then there was an engine fire, smoke in the fuselage, the cabin. And then they had to evacuate. And the public did a terrible job of evacuating this plane. It actually makes me mad. Like, if I'm on that plane and you're taking your crap, I'm going to punch you in the face. Like, seriously, because you're putting everybody behind you in complete danger by slowing things down. And after 90 seconds, the plane should be evacuated in 90 seconds. After 90 seconds, the smoke in there is enough to start taking people out on its own, right? Let me see if they got this here. Oh, now I don't hear nothing.
We just hit somebody. We have an engine fire.
Frontier 4345, I see that.
So yeah, the pilot's like, we're stopping on the runway. We just hit somebody. And then the chaos in the cabin to evacuate the plane just annoys me to no end. Like, just leave your crap. It was an aborted takeoff because it was on the active runway. So it's not, you know, when you're starting to go, like your plane is just accelerating, you stop, and then the tower clears you for takeoff. You start accelerating, right? And it was up to 130 something miles per hour. And so they had to abort the takeoff, which is dangerous. It's an active runway. And it hadn't lifted off yet, but the same thing, the evacuation, the engine caught fire at that point. They had to evacuate. They had to open the doors, pop the slides, and get the people off the plane. And these people were so ridiculously non-compliant the way they got off the plane. It just makes me so mad. I had that video up. I can play that one again. Let me see. Where the people are like, I'm taking my stuff. It's more important. They're like, your lives are more important. And some lady in the video is like, no, everything's important. I can't afford to lose either. Let's see if I can find it. Come back. Okay. Let's see. Video. Maybe I can find a better one. Denver Frontier plane evacuation. Is this it? Here's one. Okay. I don't know if this is the right one. This shows one. Right. Crew is trying to save your lives and you act like that. It's just sad and horrible. Hey, Ruby. You're cooking tea? Well, nice to see you. I need to give you a wrench. I need a, they're sending all the affected people here. It makes no sense. Okay, well, I am going to talk about the Hantavirus because it's not as big of a deal as the media is trying to make everybody think it is. So I will talk about that next. They're trying to, it's shock factor. Watch our news, It's not the next COVID. It's not even close to that. So I wouldn't worry as much as they're trying to make you think. And I'm going to go over that too. Sorry, tail going by. Okay, let me share this if I can see because the cat's in my way again. I'm going to put you in a crate next time, kitty cat. You're going to have to just go in a crate. Okay, well, I don't know. This is the one outside or both. Let's see.
Flight 4345 was racing down the runway to take off for Los Angeles with 231 on board. We're pausing the horrific video before the Airbus A321 strikes that person. The collision sparked a terrifying engine fire.
We're stopping on the runway. We just hit somebody. We have an engine fire.
Frontier 4345, I see that.
You were just about at the point of liftoff, I think, because we were really going rapidly when all of a sudden there was a big jolt.
The pilot slammed on the brakes, but the fire led to smoke in the cabin, prompting passengers to evacuate down the plane's emergency exit slides. 12 people suffered minor injuries. 5 went to the hospital.
As soon as we saw the sparks on the flight, smoke filled the cabin completely. It was super hard to breathe.
The deceased trespasser has not been identified, but the airport says the person is not believed to be an airport employee. Denver police and the FAA are investigating. In a statement, Frontier says it is deeply saddened by the incident. The Denver airport spans an area larger than Manhattan. The breach is raising security questions after the accident that left passengers fearing for their lives.
I thought I was going to burn to death, When I just saw the fire and the smoke, I just thought I was going to burn.
The NTSB says it's monitoring this situation and may decide to investigate the evacuation part of it. Incidents like this are extremely rare. Back in 2020, a trespasser was killed on an Austin, Texas runway by a landing Southwest plane. And here in the Phoenix area, here at Sky Harbor Airport earlier this year, a person did get on the runway. It halted operations, but no one was hurt in that case, Matt. New surveillance video shows the airport trespasser wandering onto Denver International.
I didn't find the one where these people, I want to play the one with the people going, I'm taking my bags. Did you see how many people were coming down that slide with their bags? Those bags could pop the slide. The evacuation would be ruined because everybody would have to go out another exit. And it said the NTSB is going to investigate the evacuation because it's a big freaking deal. The plane is supposed to be evacuated in 90 seconds. And honestly, I think people should be fined if they take their bags in an evacuation and they live through it. Or they should face criminal charges if they slow it down to the point where somebody else gets injured or hurt or dies because they stopped to take their bags. Honestly, I think it should be, I think the public should get fined or criminally charged in that. I think that's the only way it's going to stop it. The flight's going to be up there. And by the way, if you take your luggage and we have an evacuation and you take your stuff with you, you are going to be criminally responsible for anything that happened behind you, right? You're taking your iPad down the slide. Well, keep it in your lap then, so that it's on you, a person, when you get up, so you don't have to stop and look for it. Okay. You can take it, but don't take your luggage. Don't open an overhead bin. I mean, you really shouldn't take anything with you, but if you're holding something, I can see that you might take that with you. Or you just be like, well, my iPad's gone. The airline owes me an iPad. I'm dying to find the one that I had earlier, where this lady is like, I'm taking my stuff. Woman taking stuff, taking her stuff. Okay. Looking. Insider. Here we go. Got it. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I found it. This has to be it. Can you imagine people looking in overheads for duty free? Oh my God, some people are nuts. People are so bad on airplanes. They are so bad. Passengers are horrible. Like most are good, but I'm telling you, I don't think I ever flew a month without somebody being a problem on a flight. And I only flew for 6 years plus 1 year later. So. What is that? That's the right one either. Okay, this is not the right one. Oh my goodness. I want the one where the lady is saying. The one where the lady, maybe it's this one. Is it this one? Nope. It's from inside the plane. I just saw it this morning. Hold on. Maybe it's this one. I will find it. No. Nope. Woman inside cabin. Okay, let's find inside cabin. Well, maybe I just need to go on YouTube. Frontier. Plane. Inside cabin. Taking bags. Oh God, it's coming up with all kinds of stuff that isn't this. All right, I don't know. Oh yeah, my history. Good idea, Layton. Let me see my library. Hold on. Yeah, good idea. Hold on. Let me get it. Although I think I saw it on Instagram. Your history. I saw it on Instagram, so that's not going to be it. Maybe I just need to make the thing less specific. Evacuation. They're all from the outside of the ones that are coming up. Isn't it weird? You find something and then you can't find it again? It drives me nuts. Let's go on Instagram. I will get this. I will get this. Let's see. Search. I'm so annoyed with myself right now because I had it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to play this. Let's see. Okay. Evacuation. Passengers. Oh my God. Okay, here's a bunch. So let's see which one's from inside. This might be it. Frontier passengers ignore flight attendants and bring bags. This has to be one. This is somebody's Instagram, but I'm over it and I'm going to share it. No. Yeah, this will be it. Okay, let me get the audio. And let me rewind it. This won't work.
We'll be able to get this is more information.
Please leave all belongings. Please leave all belongings. Your belongings are safe. Your lives are more
important. There's no please here.
Please.
I'm not saying please.
Both are important. I can't afford neither.
Okay. Can we jump? I'm assuming I'm this way.
Backpack. Those are the one where the lady says. Those are the one where the lady says.
Leave the bags. Leave them back. Use the back. Use the back.
I'm taking
Oh, you get the point.
I'm taking them.
Look, that lady just there. She's like, I'm taking mine.
We'll be able to get her. This is more important right now. Come on.
Okay.
Look at them.
Please
Oh my
leave
God.
all belongings. Please leave all belongings. Your belongings are safe. Your lives are more important. Please.
Both are important. I
Here
can't
it
afford
is.
either.
Your lives are more important. Hi.
May jump.
Come this way.
Look, you heard it.
I don't know where your mom is.
I mean, leave your bags. They're saying, not please. There should be no please going on here. You know, it's leave your bags. So that will be a very important thing in the recurrent training. I guarantee that they will have to go to when you get recurrent training every year as a flight attendant. And it's always like what we did, what needs to change, and then you have to do all of this, like the pretend evacuation, all that stuff every year. So they definitely need, I mean, it's obviously just, they weren't aggressive enough, in my opinion. I just don't think those flight attendants were aggressive enough. And I think that the passengers are at fault though, because she is saying, leave your crap. But the bag could pop the slide, then the exit isn't good. It's not usable anymore. I mean, it's just horrible. Hey, Diana. It's always the grandmas. Right, Ruby. I'd be terrified. I just want to get off. Me too. I'd be like, I honestly, if I was behind somebody leaving their bag, taking their bag out of you would hear me become a Karen right then and there. I would be a Karen. I'd slam, go, slam the damn bin closed. I want to put your fingers in it if you try to open that again. Right? They definitely should have been more aggressive. As an armchair ex-flight attendant in that situation, I would say they were not aggressive enough. I mean, you really need to scream at those people, like, not like, please, and like, leave everything, come this way, jump, go. Then she's going, jump. Like, no, it's jump, go, get away from the aircraft, run away. Like, frick. Anyway, that's just my thing on it, because I think it's extremely dangerous for people to collect all their bags, and it's horrible. And it really does make a difference. And I think that you might wind up seeing more in the eventually on planes, them making a little bit more of a big deal in their announcement, because it's become a problem. I'm on a couple of flight attendant boards and some ex-flight attendant and retired flight attendant boards and that stuff. And the groups will pick this crap apart and be like, oh my God. So I'm sure there should be some changes that come of this, where people are absolutely, or, maybe those bins need a lock. I don't know. Like, a button locks all the bins. You can't take it, right? I don't know what the solution is. I'm just Kathy, chatting with Kathy over here in my own little house with my own little opinions. But I do not like the way it went down at all. Yeah, this will have to go to right? Yeah, there'll have to be some. And the FAA, they said, is investigating the evacuation. So the FAA is going to come, or the NTSB is going to come down on them and be like, you know what? Your aircraft did not. You really are required to get that aircraft emptied in 90 seconds, including the crew by that time. They're last off. If I was a crew on that flight, I'd be pissed too, because you're delaying my safety now, right? I'm taking my stuff. Don't freaking take your stuff. Okay, we're going to move on. before I have my high blood pressure, before I get high blood pressure, let's move on to our lovely Hantavirus cruise ship, not a cruise ship. So are you familiar with Ruby is, because she said they're dropping them off at her house. they're dropping all the hantaviruses at Ruby's house. She's making her safe tea right now so she can keep her immune system up. Okay, right. Let me find out. So lock your door, girl. Just lock your door. Don't let them in. Now Percy's gonna bark. Animals are worse than kids. All right. So this boat is not a standard cruise ship. It is a small vessel. They're making it sound like it's like a freaking Disney cruise or a Carnival cruise or a Norwegian cruise ship. Like, this is not. That cruise ship had less than 200 people on board. The cruise ships that you go on, if you're going to go on a cruise, Leighton, you've never been on a cruise, have thousands of crew members and thousands of passengers. And I'm actually with my my new travel what am I called? Advisor. With my new travel advisor hat that I'm an independent contractor with a company, so I can book anything. And my friends and I are trying to book a cruise on Virgin Atlantic, or Virgin Voyages is what they're called, their cruise ship. And it's adult only cruise. And the one we're going to go is September 2027. If anybody wants to go, it goes from Athens, and then it goes to Malta, Santorini, I believe it goes Santorini and Mykonos, and then it goes to no, it doesn't go to Mykonos. And then it goes to Italy, and it goes and ends in Rome. So keep that on the back of your thing if you want to join. Just be like, you get your own cabin and everything, but we can meet up and hang out. Why not keep them on the boat? They've been on a plane, taxis all the way here. I know that is kind of a big deal. I agree with you on that. So, I mean, keep them as isolated as where they came from, right? Or pick them up and take them to a isolation tank. Don't be sending them all home on a plane, like a regular passenger plane. I agree with that. Percy, stop. Percy. Okay, so it's not a massive mega ship, just to let you know. Let me go get my dog real quick because he's pissing me off right now. He thinks he's in charge of the neighborhood. You are interrupting everything right now. Go lay down. The next door neighbor's gardener's there. It usually comes on Thursdays. I tried to pick this time slot because my dog doesn't normally bark at this time. Okay, so it's not a massive mega ship like Carnival, Royal Caribbean. It's called the MV Hondius. Yeah, Percy's going to diet. He does. He's like 25 pounds. I don't know what's going on with him, but he weighs too much. He should weigh about 19 or 20. So that's pretty over the weight limit for sure. He's too heavy. The birds are here. Okay. So this is called the MV Hondius. It's a small polar expedition ship. So it's for remote, rugged travel. Like, it literally can go on the ice, in Antarctica and all that kind of stuff. And it was so there were only 147 people on board, including the passengers and crew. I believe it holds like 190 plus, and then crew, but it's very small. I wouldn't even call it a cruise ship myself. it's like an expedition thing, right? And so the virus, what they think happened is this passenger was in a landfill in Argentina prior to the cruise and got exposed to this Andes, it's called Andes strain of Hantavirus. Hantavirus is usually picked up from rodent droppings. Like if you got rats, you might get Hantavirus. It's usually not person to person contact, but apparently this strain that they picked up can be person to person contact. So yeah. So it's rodent droppings, urine, and saliva normally is how it's passed from a rodent to a person, you know, touching, putting your fingers in your mouth, who knows, like rodent droppings. So, but this is the Andes hantavirus, and it's one of the very few that can transmit human to human, but it requires close, prolonged contact. So you got to be pretty close, and it has to be for a while. Like sharing a cabin with somebody would probably do it, right? It doesn't spread easily through the air like flu, like the flu does. And the World Health Organization, they are and the European, whatever the European Health Organization would be, they said that they are saying, but you know, I mean, like we all know with COVID initially, you know, everybody's not going to, but they basically said it, the risk to the general population is very low. And it really is. That is true. And it's not the next COVID at all. So they are saying it's a very highly isolated incident on this specialized expedition that was going to a remote part of the world and not, you're not on Carnival Cruise. You know, there's like no reason to cancel your trip. Let me see if I can find some pictures of this cruise ship. What is it called? It's called the MV Hondius, Hondius. Okay. It looks like the ferries that you get on in Greece, you know, when we get on the ferries. I don't call them cruise ships. I call them ferries. And it really does remind me of those, like the bigger, slow ones. So here's how you can book it. Okay, wow. So here it is. The MV Hondius is the world's first registered polar class 6 vessel. It was built from the ground up for expedition cruising. And so this is it. This is their website. This is how you can go pick out what you want to do and go on it if you want to. I don't know if you want to, but okay. So it meets the latest and highest Lloyd's Register standards for ice strength cruise ships, surpassing the requirements of the Polar Code adopted by the International Maritime Organization. Hondius represents the most flexible, advanced, innovative touring vessel in the polar regions, thoroughly optimized for exploratory voyages that provide you the utmost firsthand contact with the Arctic and Antarctica. So here, let's see. So inside and stuff, it looks cozy. Let's see. Looks fun, right? Cozy little cruise ship. Lobby. Play this music. I mean, it could be fun if you have plenty of money. Get doing the icebergs and stuff. Stop. So, hold on. Okay, so there's people being talking about it. Numerous amenities on board, entertainments help make your Hondia's voyage truly memorable. The ship also gives you the peace of mind that comes with choosing one of the most environmentally friendly, I don't know about that anymore, with contaminated Hantavirus on the polar seas. Obviously, they didn't put that, but I added that. So hotel comfort. So I think the problem is, you know, they kept them on board, then they let some people go out into the general public, and that can cause a problem. But for the most part, it's not the extreme thing that everybody is making out to be. It's very small. It's like, doesn't it look like the cruise ships, or not the cruise ships, sorry, the ferries? It looks to me like the ferries. I wonder how much it costs. Oh, $4,500, $7,100. It's not cheap. Look, $12,000. Oh my God. It's like 10 times the amount of a regular cruise. I mean, I guess it would be cool, but don't be bringing me no Hantavirus. So whoever the person is that was at a landfill, they were in this landfill and they were bird watching, and let me see if I can find who person number one is. Person was in landfill, bird watching, hunt died. Okay, so it's this Dutch guy. His name is Leo. I can't pronounce his last name. Schilpecord. He's 70, and his wife Miriam, 69. They are identified as patient 0. In May of 2026, which is right now, Hantavirus outbreak that affected the cruise ship. The couple contracted the virus in March, likely from infected rodent droppings while bird watching at a landfill near Ushuaia, Argentina. The couple visited a landfill, a common spot, I guess, for people to bird watch. Hi, sunshine. And who goes to a landfill to bird watch? I guess there must be a lot of birds. You can bird watch right here. we got birds right here. Kitty Cat is all about it right now. He's sitting there watching them. They're up on the wall. We got birds. You know, I didn't need to go to a landfill. So they were likely exposed to the rare Andes strain of Hantavirus transmitted by inhaling particles from infected rodent droppings during their saliva. The pair, who had been on a 5-month trip, boarded the expedition of the MV Hondius on March 20th, leading to a cluster of cases. Unfortunately, both individuals passed away. So bird watchers, patient 0, Leo and Miriam, whatever her name is, they're dead. They died from the virus after traveling to South Africa, with at least 8 cases and 3 deaths identified globally related to the cluster. So yeah, they did cause a problem. But in the end, it's not what they're making it out to be. Like, we're all going to get it and we're going to have to wear masks now for another 4 years and all this stuff. He was an ornithologist. His fatal visit to landfill in Argentina is being traced as the start of the MV Hondius Hantavirus cluster. Authorities believe he contracted the Andes strain by inhaling virus particles from rat droppings at the landfill, a rare variant capable of spreading the disease between humans. Here, you can see a picture of him. Rest in peace, dude. Sorry about that, but it was probably not the best idea to go in a landfill, but hindsight. So here he is. This is the dude. He's 70. He's been identified as patient 0 in the deadly hantavirus outbreak linked to the cruise ship. Cruise ship's not a cruise ship. So he had a lifelong passion for rare birds. He's Dutch, and he went in this stinky, foul-smelling, that must stink, landfill on the outskirts of Argentina. It's a mountain of rotting waste that is shunned by even locals. So nobody wants to go in this stinky landfill, but he went there. He hoped to catch a glimpse of the elusive Darwin's carcara bird. What kind of bird is that? This is what he's trying to find, this bird. So he is patient 0. I'm just trying to see if there's any more information. Patient 0 is the one that started it all. Right? And there's probably cool birds elsewhere that you don't have to go in the landfill. Like I said, you can look out my window. I think they're cool, these birds that are eating my birds from my bird feeder. So Leo and his wife had been on a 5-month bird watching journey across South America. They were seasoned bird enthusiasts who had traveled across the world documenting rare species. So on March 27th, they came back from Argentina, they came back to Argentina, and they visited this Ursula landfill. And it is a site frequented by bird watchers, hopefully not anymore, but it attracts rare scavenger birds, right? Because the birds want to eat the crap in the circle of life here. The birds want to eat the crap in the landfill. So that's probably why it attracts the rare scavenger birds, and including the white-throated carcara, also called Darwin's carcara after Charles Darwin. So these bird watchers often visit this dump, and I'd say you probably shouldn't do that anymore. I mean, right? Like, don't go to the dump to see your birds. Go find another, I wish I could show you the bird right now. Kitty cat's like right here at the window, and the bird's like eating out of the bird feeder. They're like this close between the window. So it is common for bird watchers to visit landfills, it says, because there are many birds there. It's a mountain of waste that today far exceeds the limit initially established by the authorities. So 4 days later, they boarded the MD Hondius with more than 100 passengers, many of them scientists and bird watchers. And then on April 6th, Leo got a fever, headache, stomach pain, and diarrhea. He died aboard the ship 5 days later. And then on April 24th, Miriam, the wife, she got off with his body on the Atlantic island of St. Helena before attempting to fly back to the Netherlands via South Africa. However, she became critically ill during the transit. She collapsed at the airport and died the next day. So with the hantavirus confirmed on May 4th, the tragedy shocked their small town, yada, yada, yada. I just want the facts, please. Facts, ma'am, facts. So then the MD Hondius docked at Spain's Canary Islands on Sunday for a tightly managed repatriation operation after the extensive health screenings. Authorities evacuated 94 passengers and crew members from 19 countries via special flights. Following refueling, the cruise ship was set to sail to the Netherlands later, with only a skeleton crew members on board. Health authorities have confirmed 8 hantavirus cases linked to the outbreak, while 2 others are being treated as probable infections. The cases involve citizens from 6 countries, with 3 deaths reported so far, 2 confirmed and 1 probable. Now, I don't know when this article was. Where was this article written? So it does say, despite the spread across multiple nationalities, global health agencies have said the overall public health risk remains low and stress that the situation is not comparable to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we can all stay away from landfills. The lesson we learned today, don't go to stinky landfills with crap that the vulture birds want to eat. Let's see if I can find this bird. Let's see if we can find this bird. Carcara. White-throated carcara. Okay, let's see. I got pictures. We got pictures of this bird that they were trying to find. I got to share this tab instead. Okay. So here it is. I mean, he's rare, I guess. There's 0 in the Hantavirus outbreak. So there it is. It's a huge bird of prey. How big is he? That was white-throated carcara. Carcara? Am I saying that right? Also known as Darwin's carcara. And then he became known as patient 0. So incident has brought renewed attention not only to hantavirus risks while wildlife heavy environments, but also I don't need a commercial. Hold on. This thing's not going. Okay. Fascinating lesser known bird that he traveled the world to observe. Striking bird of prey found mainly in the Falkland Islands and parts of South America. And then, unlike many raptors, it is known for its unusual intelligence, curiosity, and scavenging behavior. Its adaptability and opportunistic feeding habits have long intrigued bird research and wildlife enthusiasts. So he's very interested in this bird. Wonder if he saw it. Darwin's carcara stands out because it displays an exceptional level of curiosity and problem-solving behavior that is uncommon among raptors. So, unlike many birds of prey that remain cautious and distant, this species is known to actively approach humans, inspect unfamiliar objects, and adapt quickly to changing situations. So, the rats are in the landfill pooping. The guy goes in the landfill to find the bird, and then the guy gets sick from the rat poop, brings it on a ship, a small ship, very sized ship, not a cruise ship, and dies. And then his wife dies when she's leaving with his body. Oh, terrible. And then other people get sick. So my point about this is it's probably not as freaking scary as the news is making it out to be, but obviously lesson learned, stay out of your landfills. It's probably a bad idea to go in landfills. So anyway, there's that. Okay, so we've covered the bad passenger activity, evacuating a plane, and they all need to be fined and get lessons on how to evacuate a plane. We should be practicing with all our passengers before the plane takes off. Like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to evacuate. You're going to jump down the slides. This is a practice run. And then you're going to get back on the plane and you're going to promise that you're not going to take your bags with you if we evacuate, which obviously would never happen. But those, even putting the slides back are a big deal. I mean, flight attendants have accidentally popped a slide. You're in big bad trouble if you do that when you're not evacuating. You have to disarm them. That's why when they say flight attendants, prepare for arrival, and then cross-check, so they have to look at the other person's door to make sure they disarmed the slide. And then when I worked at United, we would have to call the lead flight attendant and say, we're good. Doors are disarmed. Everybody has to check in and make sure. Because again, problems back when I started in 1984, it was just cross-check. Look, okay, cool. And when I was a flight attendant in the back, I was cross-checking myself because I was the only one back there open on the 737, disarming both slides. Because in the old 737s, you just bring this little bar down and it clicks in. And now the newer planes have like a handle and stuff to do it. But it is, you pop a slide, you're in trouble. You might lose your job, most likely, if you do that when you're not supposed to. So that is that. Okay. And then I wanted to talk about the Larry Millette Day, because I told you we were going to follow that. And that they picked a jury. So if you're not familiar with Larry, are the life vests tested? They should be. They should be. The life vests are under almost every chair on the. Now, back in the day, we didn't have life vests on every plane unless the plane was one that went over the water. Things have changed. Oh, you used to work with one at the zoo known as the Eagle of Mexico. That's cool. Lee. Or Mama, who are you? That is cool. You know a lot of stuff. Okay. So let me get to Larry. So Larry Millette murdered his wife allegedly, and they are oh my goodness. Going to trial right now. And he is been in jail for, I think we're 5 years in now. There were gunshots heard. She's missing. They never found her body. They're in Chula Vista, California, and he is going trials starting. Unfortunately, they're not letting cameras in the courtroom, which makes me crazy because I would love to follow the trial live, and watch it. So the jury selection did finish yesterday. And then opening statements are set for Monday, the 18th at 9 a.m. So no cameras. So we'll keep up with what's going on with that. I'm curious. Hopefully he'll be convicted, and put away for life. And I really wish they would find his wife's body because that would help a lot as well. And there's so much sketchy stuff with him, like just leaving, going away, leaving his phone. So he didn't have GPS tracking on him in the morning that she was found to be gone. Also, I wanted to look. Corey Richins got sentenced today. Did you follow the Corey Richins trial? Let's see. Apparently during, it was this morning. And sentencing. Okay, I want to look at that real quick because apparently when the families were speaking, Corey was making faces at them. Okay, let's see if that's over. We can find some spots where I wanted to see. I have to go to YouTube. Corey Richins sentenced for murdering your husband. Her sons say they fear her. Poor kids. She's evil. Evil, evil as they come. Okay, let me look on YouTube. Oh, it's on right now. Hold on, let's see. Okay, let me share this. I'm going to get it up here. Let's see. Stream in there a little bit. Okay, hold on. My thing is being dumb. Well, I got too much stuff open. We need to close a bunch of stuff so that you guys can see this. So this is, oh God, it's been streaming for 3 hours. Okay, let's just peek in on it for a second to where they're at, see who's talking, giving their statements.
And left me with a very sad and lonely heart. No amount of prison time made me feel better, and in the later years, my father's incarceration wore on me severely. What I will.
Okay, wait, who is this now? I'm curious because Corey seems to be on board with this person saying. I don't know.
I'll leave you with is this. Hold tightly to the good memories of your father, and in time, perhaps your mother too. Cling to your family and siblings for love and support. Please let love reside in your hearts and not hate. I pray for your family and for your peace and healing. And thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Emery, thank you very much.
Thank you, Emery.
Your Honor, there is so much more to sentencing a person than punishment. That is why in sentencing someone, the court must consider the totality of the circumstances, the whole person, and who that person is beyond their worst act.
So now her lawyer is speaking. Obviously, she can't get the death penalty. So what can she get? Life without parole?
In their sentencing memo, the state cited to State versus Holland, which was a death penalty case. The state quoted the court as follows. The psychological reality is that aggravating circumstances in first-degree murder cases will virtually always outweigh mitigating circumstances. However, what the state left out is what the court said next, which was that the Eighth Amendment doesn't allow the death penalty in every case, and courts must take a long, hard look at the totality of the circumstances. I'm
going to go back.
This is who Eric.
Okay, this is Eric's sister. Let's go back and watch her. I just want to see.
We thank the Summit County Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Hemingway, Detective O'Driscoll, Detective Hopper, Officer Woody, Officer Gibson, and all the law enforcement personnel who worked on this investigation. We thank the bailiffs who ensured the safety and the order of this courtroom. We thank you, Your Honor.
Seriously, right?
For your patience,
I want to see his sister, and then we'll end
stewardship
because his
this
sister had a huge part
We extend
in this,
our heartfelt
in getting
gratitude to
Corey
each juror, including the alternates, for their sacrifice and their time, for seriously taking the responsibility, who carried out to ensure justice was served. Nothing can bring Eric back. Nothing can restore what has been taken from his sons, from our family, and from this community.
I think this is Eric's dad.
But accountability matters here. Justice matters. Eric mattered. His life, his love mattered, his example mattered. He will always be remembered as a devoted father, a loving son, a supportive brother, a loyal friend, and a man who made lives of those around him better. We miss him every day and will continue to honor his memory by living with the same kindness and dedication that he showed to everyone fortunate enough to know him. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see what his sister says because she was a big part of this. Here she comes. So if you don't know, Corey Richens killed her husband, poisoned him with fentanyl. She's been convicted of it. And they have small children, young boys.
Katie, good morning.
And she was a money-hungry BI.
So as you know, I'm Katie, and I'm Eric's sister. To begin, there are a multitude of people who deserve credit and appreciation. Law enforcement agencies across the state of Utah, the Summit County Prosecutor's Office, the Medical Examiner's Office, expert witnesses who worked hand in hand with law enforcement, Eric's friends, Eric's coworkers, my friends, my family, our entire team of lawyers and experts in the civil lawsuit. There are far too many people to mention by name, and I suspect if I try to, I will inadvertently leave someone out. But to all of you, please know that this would not be possible without your efforts, your support, and the strength of the community that has stood beside us. Both my family and I are forever grateful to each of you. I am also very grateful to you, Your Honor, to this court for the dignified manner in which it presided over the trial, and to the members of the jury for faithfully performing their civic duties. Today is Eric's birthday.
I love when that happens. Today is Eric's birthday. It's like, didn't something like that happen in Lori Vallow? It was what was it? And then you remember like specific days that mean something when this all comes down?
I stand before you because he can't. He was taken away from my dad, my sister, his nieces, his friends, our community, and worst of all, from his 3 amazing sons. Sorry. He was taken away from us by a person he should have been able to trust, the person he should have trusted most in the world, his wife. It's impossible to fully describe how devastating Eric's death and Corey's crimes have been to our family. Nearly every aspect of our lives has been permanently changed, and we have no choice but to live with those changes and with Eric's loss forever. Eric was a phenomenal brother, father, son, nephew, grandson, cousin, friend, and businessman. Eric and I were extremely close. We went through school together and navigated life side by side.
She rolled her eyes.
Eric went,
Did you see Corey just roll her eyes? Hold on. She just freaking rolled her eyes. Ah, come back.
Get the most compliments.
Okay.
This is the liquid lash extensions.
Hey, when I do that?
Eric was an incredible son, always there for my parents, stepping in without hesitation and helping in every way he could without being asked. The bond he shared with my mom was truly special.
I want to see her roll her eyes again.
Nieces, his friends, our community, and worst of all, from his 3 amazing sons.
There we go. Watch.
Sorry. He was taken away from us by a person he should have been able to trust, the person he should have trusted most in the world, his wife. It's impossible to fully describe how devastating Eric's death and Corey's crimes have been to our family. Nearly every aspect of our lives has been permanently changed, and we have no choice but to live with those changes and with Eric's loss forever. Eric was a phenomenal brother, father, son, nephew, grandson, cousin, friend, and businessman. Eric and I were extremely close. We went through school together and navigated life side by side. Wherever Eric went, I was usually tagging along right behind. In school, Eric's nickname was Richie, and mine was Little Richie, a reflection on how inseparable we were. He wasn't just my brother. He was my constant, my protector, and one of my closest friends. Eric was the kind of father who anticipated his children's needs before they ever had to ask. He made sure they were always having fun, taught them how to be respectful and kind, and was constantly planning for their future. His mind and heart was always on his boys, always. Everything he did was for them. Eric was the very best uncle. He made his nieces, my daughters, feel truly special. He always found ways to have fun with them. He doted on them with love and attention. Eric was an incredible son, always there for my parents, stepping in without hesitation and helping in every way he could, without being asked. The bond he shared with my mom was truly special. We would often joke that the umbilical cord had never really been cut, but in truth, it spoke to the deep, unbreakable love they had for each other. This is who Eric truly was, a man defined by love, integrity, and unwavering devotion to his family. He is none of the things that Corey tried to portray him as. Those mischaracterizations were nothing more than a vile effort to deflect blame. And those mischaracterizations stand in stark contrast to the reality of the man we all knew and loved. Eric's life and his actions and the profound impact he had on those around him speak for themselves. And they tell a story of goodness, strength, and character that cannot be rewritten or diminished. The saddest part for me in all of this is that I got something with Eric that his sons never did: time. I feel cheated that I only got to spend a few decades with my brother, but I should feel lucky in comparison. As Eric's eldest son told me shortly after his dad's death, he and his brothers did not even get 10 years with their dad. It is devastating that Eric is not here to coach them, to work the family ranch with them, to teach them how to drive, to attend their high school graduation, to send them off to college, to see them get married, or to celebrate the birth of his future grandchildren. His 3 sons are going to grow up and live nearly their entire lives without their dad. They're going to get to know their dad more from the stories we tell about them than their actual experiences. In all likelihood, by the time they are each 44 years old, which is how old Eric would be today, they will have little to no actual memories of Eric. And they have to go through life without their dad because their mother planned and carried out his murder. She could not have done anything more selfish or more cruel to those boys. In the place of a stable, secure, and loving home, Corey gave the boys permanent trauma. They were in the house the night she killed their father. They were awake. They knew that something terrible had happened to their dad. As we heard on the 911 call during trial, one of them even walked into Eric's bedroom, where Eric's body lay dead, poisoned by someone who his son should have been able to unconditionally trust, love, and depend on. No child should have to bear that trauma. But Eric's 3 innocent sons will bear that burden, and they will bear it for the rest of their lives. Corey's selfishness and cruelty did not end with Eric's murder. In the time after Eric's death, Corey has done nothing but isolate, manipulate, deceive, and do harm to those boys. Almost immediately after Eric died, she cut them off completely from our family, from Eric's family. The isolation was calculated and strategic. Corey used the boys as bargaining chips with my dad.
Look at her. Like, wow, she is a piece of work, isn't she?
Repeatedly threatened not to let him see his grandsons unless he could convince me, as Eric's trustee of his trust, to capitulate to her legal demands and give her all the trust assets. While isolating the boys, Corey provided them with false and harmful information.
Oh my God, look at her. She's all about her, isn't it? All about her. God, she's a piece of, I'm so glad she got tried and convicted. She is just a horrible person.
About me and my family. When DCFS took custody of the boys following Corey's arrest.
She's literally laughing. I hope the judge is watching this and considers it in her sentence.
And
we'll catch up. Hopefully they're given the sentence.
Asked where they would like to go. They expressed fear of my family. The fear was not based on reality, but on what they had been told. For over a year, Corey led them to believe that I hated them, that I was attempting to take Eric's money for myself, and that I intended for them to be left without support, that they would be homeless and starving. These statements were entirely false and had no basis in reality. Had they not been subjected to that influence, they would have known.
Yeah, like I think about this because my kids just lost their dad, right? I mean, my kids are adults, and their dad just tragically fell over and died September 21st. And my heart, like when their dad died, my heart was all about my kids. Like I felt so horrible for them to lose them, and they had a whole up to adulthood with them. And Corey doesn't give a crap. Like, look at that. This just bothers me so much. So much. Look at her. It's all about her. Horrible person.
On the truth. Prior to Eric's death, our family.
And Jim and I were divorced, but it was still broke my heart that my kids lost their dad. Like, how horrible.
We're very close. My daughters and his sons had strong friendships, and I had a meaningful individual relationship with each of my nephews. I spent time riding horses with one, helping another identify summer coding programs, and the youngest participated in ice skating lessons with my daughters. Our families shared holidays, worked together on our family ranch, took trips together, and I was present the day each of the boys were born in the hospital. The boys have expressed their confusion about these circumstances. They have stated that prior to their father's passing, both Eric and Corey frequently told them if anything were to happen, they should go with me, that I would care for them and support them. Following Eric's death, however, those messages changed. After Eric passed away, Corey prevented all contact between our family and the boys. She prohibited communication and continued to provide them of false information about us. When we were finally able to see the boys again, approximately 15 months after Eric's death, the boys hardly recognized the relationship we had. Instead, they viewed my family and me with fear and hesitation, as though we were strangers. Corey also went to great lengths to jeopardize the boys' financial futures. I know you are very aware of this. Among other things,
every time I wear this mascara shade, I get the most compliments. This is the Liquid Lash Extensions mascara.
Boys is college funds. She allowed the boys' Social Security survivor benefits to be funneled to individuals who were not taking care of the boys. And she sued me in my role as Eric's trustee and personal representative, not once, not twice, but 3 separate times. The goal of her lawsuits is singular. She wants all of Eric's assets for herself. Despite her lies and fanciful public portrayal, she knows that none of Eric's assets are going to me, my dad, or my sister. In fact, she knows exactly where Eric wanted everything to go, and that is to his boys. And yet, for 4 years, she has aggressively tried to take their inheritance from them. Even now, despite her erroneous debt, a murder conviction, and a string of pending felony financial charges, Corey's civil lawsuits live on. Those lawsuits have been emotionally grueling, all-consuming, and unimaginably expensive. And tragically, every dollar on those suits is a dollar that Eric's boys will not get. Of course, Corey can't have other people or the public thinking that she's trying to take away her children's inheritance. So for the past 4 years, both in court and in the media, she has demonized and vilified me. She has hurled wild accusations in my direction, including that I hacked her bank accounts, forged her bank statements, paid off witnesses, unduly pressured law enforcement into investigating her, and quietly pulled the Summit County prosecutor's strings. It is despicable that for doing nothing more than trying to honor Eric's wishes, Corey has cast me as the evildoer here. Just as bad, honoring Eric's wishes has landed my sister and myself, and unbelievably, my 2 daughters in Corey's crosshairs. One of Eric's sons recently told me that Corey used to say, "I will get them one day." Apparently, she was talking about me, my sister, and my daughters. Her infamous walk the dog letter, the part the jury did not hear, confirms her desire to harm me. In it, she talks at length about her plans to get at Amy and me, including by targeting my daughters, both of whom are under the age of 10. It takes a sick mind to target children. The mere thought that someone who has so little regard for human life or decency might one day walk free is horrifying. I worry about the safety of Eric's boys, my daughters, my sister, and myself. There is nothing Corey will not do, and no one she will not hurt to achieve her own selfish ends. I am not the only one that is afraid. There are 3 little boys who, instead of fearing those who love and adore them, as Corey would prefer, worry constantly that Corey might show up one day and take them away. Eric's sons deserve so much better. They are not bargaining chips. They are not cash cows. They are not props for some twisted children's book about grief and loss. And yet that is what they've been reduced to by Corey. To my unending sadness and horror, Eric himself understood all too well the danger she posed to his children and to his family. When Eric told me he had changed his estate planning and appointed me as his trustee and personal representative, I begged him to end the marriage and go his separate way. By that point, he had already consulted with a divorce attorney and was deeply afraid that he might not be awarded sole custody of his children. He made the heartbreaking decision to stay because he could not accept the risk of what might happen to his sons if Corey had equal custody. He told me he would live his life through hell every single day of his life until his youngest was 18, because he believed Corey was the most evil person he had ever met. He knew that his sons did not like her. He told me as much many times. He knew that.
Oh my gosh, look at her. I love this sister, because this sister has had the balls to go after Corey. And now she's just telling it all. It's awesome. And Corey's like, what? He thought I was evil? Oh my God, you're crazy.
They would prefer to be far away from her, but he also knew that divorce carried significant risks. And he said he could never allow his children to spend half of their time alone with her, because he was certain they would be exposed to harm and things no child should ever experience.
Yeah, for
He
sure,
made it
Christy.
clear
Yeah.
that in his mind, if Corey were given equal custody,
Attitude.
his children would be in the care of someone he believed to be deeply dangerous. He feared the people they could be exposed to and the damage that could be done. At the same time, he spoke with deep love and admiration for his boys. He told me that they were the most amazing boys in the world, and that none of this was their choice and none of it was their fault, and that he would do everything in his power to protect them for as long as he possibly could. Corey loves to go on and on about how this case is a media sensation. She's right. News outlets from here to Europe have covered it. There have been countless newspaper articles, podcasts, and TV specials about it. Every hearing is live streamed on numerous YouTube channels. Every filing is scrutinized by internet lawyers and true crime junkies. There is no question that this case is famous and that Corey is now famous. But what Corey never mentions in talking about her fame and notoriety are the reasons why this case is now famous. It is famous for how appalling and sickening it is. It is famous because a mother meticulously planned to kill her husband, killed him while their children were sleeping in the next room, and then had the audacity to hold herself out as the author of a children's book about grief and loss. It is famous because she spent time Googling luxury prisons for the rich in America. It is famous because from her jail cell, she scripted a bunch of phony testimony so that her brother could perpetrate a fraud on the court. It is famous because she victimized her own children and threatened to victimize Eric's nieces. The fame and attention are directly proportional to the evil that has gone on here. This is not a situation where the idea of rehabilitation should be entertained. In taking Eric's life for her own selfish gain, Corey did not only harm Eric, she permanently harmed 3 kids who were under the age of 10. She took away a dad, a son, a brother, an uncle, a grandson, a nephew, a cousin, and a friend.
Like,
Eric's death has
like you're
caused
just standing up there
immeasurable
lying.
pain to so many.
That's
Obviously,
what
there's
like,
nothing
look at
the court can do about that. And you cannot bring
looking
him
over at
back.
her lawyer like,
But what you can do is give Corey's victims at least
horrible.
some measure of closure. To that end, I ask that the court impose a sentence that ensures Corey never has the opportunity to harm Eric's children or our family again. Please do not let my brother's life be worth nothing more than a 25-year punishment. Please do not leave those boys to wonder whether Corey might track them or their children down in the future. Please do not create a possibility for Corey to endanger Eric's boys, my daughters, my family, or anyone else ever again. Please sentence Corey to a life in prison without the possibility of parole. Thank you.
so yeah. How old is Corey Richens? 25 years would be horrible. She would be, how old is she? Does anybody know off the top of their head? In her 30s. So she'd be like around my age if they only gave her 25 years. That would be ridiculous. She could come out and just be evil once again. Okay, I'm going to go all the way to see where we're at in the sentencing. Oh, they're on break. Okay, what happened back here?
There's no growth.
Okay, so then this is the.
If she's been rehabilitated and if she is a danger to the community. These are not decisions that can be made today. We don't stand here today asking you to give her a second chance. We ask you to let those best qualified make that decision when the time comes. When Corey's and Eric's boys are grown. When they can tell the board if they feel the same way that they do today.
So, did you guys all watch the trial, Corey Richens' trial, and follow the case? Like, she is just such a horrible person, and thankfully she got convicted. But there were some moments in the trial where I was a little concerned that the jury may not come to an agreement on that. So, thankfully, she is going to be sentenced here this morning, this afternoon now. And I would love to see that part, but I guess they're on break. Let's see where we're at.
You heard a letter read today from a woman who once stood in the shoes of the Richens family. At sentencing, she wanted life without parole for her son's killer. Now she does not. She has changed. Her views of prison have changed, and her feelings towards the man that took her son's life has changed.
Right.
But a life without the possibility of parole, the sentence cannot be changed. If Corey and Eric's boys someday change their mind, and it is too late to say something different.
She's 35, Leighton. Okay. So she legitimately at 60, she could be out. Younger than me, right? She'd still have a lot of time on this planet, probably, and ability to do more harm. Hopefully, gosh, I really hope he gives her life without parole. Oh, I hope.
And what they've said today, this day will become one more day that haunts them. If in 30 years they still do feel as they do today, they will have the opportunity to express those feelings. But don't allow their statements at age 9, 12, and 13 become another tragedy, another trauma that they may end up suffering as adults. A sentence that doesn't allow even the possibility of parole is a sentence that tells the world there is no hope. There is no growth. There is no change.
There is no hope for her. She's an evil person. She killed the father of her 3 children. Not allegedly. She's convicted. I hope this judge seemed like he was pretty ruthlessly strict about the horror of her crime. So I really hope that he throws the book at her.
There's no room for forgiveness. There's no room for love. That we are all our worst act and will never be anything more. And that is not the human experience. In a world where humanity is waning, act with humanity. In a world where hatred is encouraged, act with kindness. In a world where forgiveness is seen as a weakness,
her lawyers bug me.
Act with compassion. A sentence of 25 to life with the other charges termed concurrent reflects the seriousness of this offense, takes into consideration the totality of the circumstances. Further, it follows the recommendation of the pre-sentence report, and it is the appropriate sentence in this matter.
So 25 to life would mean she'd be eligible at parole for parole, right? After 25, which would be less than 25, right? Because they can get eligible for parole before their sentence is done, I believe. So her attorney does not want her to have life without parole, life without the ability to be paroled. So that's what her attorney is saying right now. Yes, she poisoned him with fentanyl and in some kind of drink or something. And then she called 911 saying that he, my husband, blah, blah, blah. He's cold. I found him. I was in the room with my son, so she went and laid down with her kid and then she found him. And she even waited, again, another one that waited to call 911. So yeah, she killed her husband and it was all about money. And she also had a boyfriend and she dragged him to this. He was really, really nervous when he took the stand. Life in prison without the possibility of parole is what she deserves. I agree. And is she going to be in the same prison as Lori? Oh no, she's in Utah, right? I don't know why I was thinking she's in Utah.
It is 12:55. We're going to take a break until 1:25 to make sure Ms. Richards gets an opportunity to use the restroom and eat something. Mr. Bloodworth, you look like you have something to say.
Your Honor, does the court want to hear from the state one last time before the proceedings?
I do not. I have this firmly in hand. I would like to make it clear, in case there was any ambiguity, that the court has considered and is denying defendant's request to strike portions of the state's sentencing memorandum.
Yes, thank you.
Court will be in recess until 1:25.
Okay,
Let's make sure that Ms. Richards gets something to eat. Thank you.
Okay, so they're in recess for another 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So, right? Who cares? Don't let her go potty. Let me take this down for a minute. So let me just give you a little rundown on this case, and then we can watch the act. I believe when they come back, she'll be actually sentenced, right? The sentencing will come down when they come back from their break. So let's see. Let me just see if I can find bullet points on Corey Richards for you that haven't followed. Percy. Okay. I'm going to stay on because I want to see her get sentenced. If you guys have time to stick around or not, or you can watch the replay, but I am going to stay online for them to come back and give her the sentence. So, okay. So she was convicted on March 16th. They convicted her of aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, forgery, and 2 counts of insurance fraud. She was found guilty of fatally poisoning her husband, Eric Richens, on March 4th, 2022. And prosecutors proved she slipped nearly 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl into a Moscow Mule cocktail that she made for him. She was also convicted of a previous attempt on his life just a few weeks prior, where she laced a Valentine's Day bagel sandwich with fentanyl. So, yeah, Utah. My bad. Yes. So in the months that followed her husband's murder, she authored a book, a children's book, and she went on TV and she promoted it. And it was a children's book on grief titled, "Are You With Me?" It featured a father with angel wings and was ostensibly written to help her young sons cope with their father's death. This is how evil she is. Oh, baby, let me help you cope with your father's death that I killed her. Shh, don't tell anybody. Thank goodness she got convicted. Prosecutors successfully argued the murder was financially motivated. Yeah, it was all about money. And Corey was deeply in debt, misusing her power of attorney and trying to maintain the facade of a luxurious lifestyle. She had forged her husband's signature on insurance policies and taken out large lines of credit without his knowledge. So she's facing 25 years to life in prison. Her defense team recently attempted to delay today's sentencing until mid-June, but the judge firmly denied that motion, saying that the family waited long enough. So I think he's going to be hard on her. I really do. I hope. So today's sentencing carries heavy emotional weight because May 13th is his birthday. Let's see. Here is when she got convicted. Let me see if this is short or long. Okay. Here's when she got sent, or not sentenced, but convicted when the jury came back. Let me get, hold on. It was commercial. Okay. So here's okay.
To the verdict. These folks are here against their will. They, all the lawyers, Ms. Richens, every attendee, my court staff, the bailiffs, everybody deserves your respect. There simply cannot be any outward reactions. If the jury reached a unanimous verdict.
There we go.
Would you please hand the verdict form to the deputy and you can have a seat. Thank you. Counsel, Ms. Richens, please stand. Count 1, aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Corey Richens, is guilty of aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 1 beyond a reasonable doubt. The homicide was committed for pecuniary gain, and the homicide was committed by means of the administration of any substance administered in a lethal amount, dosage, or quantity. Count 2, attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Corey Richins, is guilty of attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 2 beyond a reasonable doubt. The attempted homicide was committed for pecuniary gain. Count 3, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Corey Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 4, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Corey Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 5, forgery. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Corey Richins, is guilty of forgery. It's signed by the foreperson. Please have a seat. Madam Foreperson, is this the verdict that the jury reached unanimously?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you may have a seat. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, do you wish the jury to be polled?
Yes, please.
All right.
Okay, so that was when the jury came back and found her guilty on all counts. And then today, fast forward, is the actual sentencing happening. Well, let's see if it's still, they haven't come back yet. We still have a few more minutes. I know. Did you see her? She like was waiting, like hoping, you could see it in her face, like maybe I'm going to be acquitted. And then she goes, ugh. And then today, look at her attitude in this place. Like ridiculous. Let me go back a little bit. Let's see if there's somebody else we want to listen to while we're waiting for the judge to come back. Hopefully he'll do the sentencing right when he comes back. Let's see. That her lawyer, don't really care what her lawyer has to say about poor Corey. Oh, let's see what her brother says. Oh, I think this is her brother. Hold on. Because obviously her brother doesn't want her to be convicted. She was trying to get him to help her. That walk the dog letter that they found in her cell was like a big thing in this case because she was actually giving her brother and her mom like pointers on how to help her in the walk the dog letter. So her brother has been on her side. Let me see. As far as, let's see, share. Okay, this is her brother. I believe this is her brother. We'll find out.
I'd like to address the court with actually a person wanted to bring to court. Okay. Little sister, I love you.
Yeah. Oh, now she's going to cry.
I miss you. I miss our random banter. I miss your calls. I miss your constantly over-the-top positive attitude every time you speak. I miss our game nights. I miss our stupid finger gun dance after we won a game.
Now she's going to cry. Nothing about her kids losing their dad, but this is making her cry, her brother. What a piece of work she is.
I miss our holidays. I miss you sending the boys to wake me up on Christmas morning. Way too early after we stayed up way too late preparing Christmas for them so that it'd be absolute perfect. I miss our Sundays together. I miss arguing with the boys about who's better, Messi or Ronaldo, Brady or Rodgers. I miss our backyard games. I miss me and the boys running all over you at sports in the backyard and Eric getting mad because you weren't competitive enough and you were really just out there to have fun and laugh. I miss you constantly luring me into your newest ideas and getting me excited about them. I miss vacation. I miss family volleyball. I miss playing Madden and FIFA with Eric and the boys. I miss your stupid goats. I miss the soccer games and the celebrations we created for the boys after they scored a goal. I miss Carter's smile and his obsession with goat videos. Ashton's freckles and his competitiveness. And Weston's baby blues and tenderheartedness. I miss hearing them say Wani and playing catch in your living room. I miss your family. I miss our family. I miss the life that was stolen. I miss the life that was stolen from us.
Does anybody know, is her family not allowed to see the boys? Her mom, who's the grandma, and her brother clearly can't see the boys. I don't know anything about that, but I mean, they were kind of on our side, so.
For reasons that we can't yet fully understand. We don't, with 100% certainty, know what happened, Eric. No one does, but we do know with 100% certainty that it wasn't caused by you. We know that, the police know it, the prosecution knows it, and everyone watching this trial knows it. They could not prove their theory, just the opposite, and yet here we are. For some reason, unbeknownst to us, really bad things happen to really good people, Cor, and you were just really too good of a person, I guess.
Oh my God, did he just say that she was innocent of this in so many words? Did he just say that? I think he just said that.
I promised Dad a long time ago that I'd always look after you, Mom, and I intend on keeping that promise. We'll get through this together, and the injustice that's occurred here in this courtroom, it'll be righted in time. Your innocence will shine too brightly to be contained once you've actually had a fair shot at defending yourself. When the day comes, I just know somehow that you're going to change a lot of lives that really need your help. And until then, little sister, just know. Just know that I'm right by your side, and I'll always be right here for you. I love you.
These are not ordinary stones.
Oh my
They're
God.
golden garden stones. Place anywhere,
Wow.
no electricity. Charge in sunlight and glow. Non-toxic.
Wow. Look, crying. Does she have mascara on? Could she wear mascara in the jail? Okay, who's this? Who's this?
Refusing to impose a sentence of life without parole does mean that we do not close the door completely. It means we do not presume to know with absolute certainty what a human life, victim or condemned,
This is her lawyer.
may become.
Okay, let's go because it's got 1 minute. They should be coming back. Let's see where we're at. They should be coming back now. Right? And emotional over what her brother's saying. Like, if she was innocent, if she was falsely convicted or whatever, don't you think she would have been crying a lot more when the other people were speaking about her sons and that they're going to not be there? They don't have their dad anymore. I mean, human nature, she cries when her brother talks, but she doesn't cry when they're talking about her children from someone else, the sister or whatever, or what they're going to miss out on their dad. Yeah, she's a piece of work. Throw the book at her. So it should be coming back any minute. This case just really rips my, like, oh, she's just out of control. So also, I could have streamed over to Left Undone too, but the problem with me not doing Left Undone, no, her children did not testify. The problem with me not doing Left Undone anymore, first of all, I just want to really quickly say this. I think the true crime community has turned into so much drama and so many creators attacking other creators. I'm literally not going to CrimeCon because I don't like the culture or the atmosphere of what's going on in the true crime community right now. I know there's a lot of grifters and they deserve to be called out. They make lots and lots and lots of money on here, and they're not good people. I'm not naming any names, but as far as what's going on over there, I've really lost my, I just don't want to be part of it. And I figure over here at Kathy, chatting with Kathy, we can talk about so much more than just true crime. But like I said, we will follow true crime, but we are not going to get, into it like we did with the Lori Vallow Chad Daybell case. The reason we did that was the first case I started following on my channel, and went to the trials and everything too. I will, I consider if there's a case that I'm waiting for to go to trial here in Riverside County, about little Noah McIntosh, whose father literally, is a horrible person. And that's been going on 7 years now, and it hasn't gone to trial yet. And I would like to go to that one because I really followed that one a lot. It's just a horrible child abuse. He literally melted his kid in acid. He would put him in the bathtub with scalding water, really cold water. His ex-wife, the child's mom, is going to be sentenced at some point too, but she hasn't been sentenced yet. She has some kind of a plea deal. And so that case, we can review it when it gets closer to trial, because it's been dragging on for so long. But the guy is just horrible. The murderer, alleged murderer. And it took place in Corona, California. So let's see. Are they coming back? Come on. Should be back. 12:28. So it should come back right now. I'm sure they're coming back into the courtroom now. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't make her children testify, but her kids, obviously they witnessed, you could hear them on the 911 call. I believe I could hear, one of them come into the room when she was calling 911 and her telling him, if I remember right, the child to go away. But they saw their dad there, dead. But this brother, we'll get through this together. You're my sister hero. You've basically been wrongly convicted. I'm just going to live in denial mode. And I don't know. I don't know if her mom, it doesn't look like her mom spoke. I didn't see, but we could check. But I want to see what happens when they come back right now from with the judge. Just really hope that they decide to never let her out of prison for the rest of her dang life. She's definitely evil. I just can't believe these people that could just murder their children's father like that. It's just, no, Percy, you're being really rude, young man. Really rude. I'm not paused, right? No, it's on. Go. So if you didn't follow this case, you could probably, I know there's a dateline. I don't know if there's one since she got convicted, but there was a dateline or 48 hours or one of those where her mom and her brother are sticking up for her. And this was probably a couple years ago that it was put out about the case. I watched that, and she, her mom and her brother basically were on her side the whole time. And that's pretty clear they still are. Come on, Judge. Let's go. You're 5 minutes late. We want to see this so we can wrap up. And then if you are in, I know people peeking in and out and stuff, but if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel, Chatting with Kathy. I like to bring my expertise on things like as far as, being a nurse and the Hantavirus and information that can help people understand what's going on. I'd like to follow true crime that way. I'm a hospice nurse, so I've got some stories to tell you about that. And also, from the majority of my nursing career, I was OB, labor and delivery nurse.
All right, we're back
Yeah.
on the record. This is case 231-500-139. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, anything further before we hear from Ms. Richards?
Is she going to speak?
I understand that Ms. Richards will like to stand at the podium.
Oh, she's going to talk.
You folks would like to share.
Yes.
No problem.
What's she going to come up there and say? Holy crap, she's going to speak. Wicked witch.
There should be.
I protest this whole thing. You people are stupid. I am an innocent woman. You are no longer innocent. You've been proven guilty in a court of law.
My sweet baby boys. I know that today you don't want to speak to me, have a relationship with me, or you may think you hate me, and that's okay. I will never be angry at you for your feelings. When the day comes that you're ready, I will be here for you, waiting for you, and loving you. But I need you boys to know and understand that I have been desperately trying to get in contact with you any way that I can for years. That all of my communication has been completely cut off from you since early 2024. And now I will use any opportunity I can to get a message to you. Even if that means sharing it publicly to the world, fully restrained, in my jail clothes, in one of the most horrible situations possible. I don't care, and I'm not embarrassed or ashamed by any of it. All I care about is you boys. I will do whatever it takes for you to hear the truth from me and to come home to you. For the time being, I don't know when that is or when my next opportunity will be. So for now, bear with me as I have tried to consolidate everything I've wanted to share with you for the last few years, with everything I want you to know until I'm able to speak to you again in one long message. And although you may not be ready to hear it today, that's okay. My hope is one day you will be. May 6th of 2024, temporary custody was transferred from the state of Utah Child Services to your Aunt Katie and Uncle Clint. My last video call with you boys was several weeks prior to that, around April 24th, 2024, when you were still in the state's custody. Once temporary custody was transferred to Katie and Clint, against my wishes, they cut off all of my communication between you boys and I. It was years before I would ever have a trial.
Such a narcissist.
I warned social services that if they gave custody of you to the Richards family, it would be the last time I would be able to see or speak to you boys again.
Good.
Your opinion of me in this case and wild allegations would soon mirror those of the Richards family. And that's exactly what happened. You need to know the Darden side of the family fought a long, hard battle for custody, but was eventually ignored and denied. Since temporary custody was granted to Katie and Clint, they have not allowed me to see or speak to you. No more video calls, no more visits. They blocked the phone number for the jail so I can't call you. Birthday cards, Christmas cards, the letters I would send you boys, they were all returned or rerouted. All of my contact was cut off more than 2 years ago. So please ask them. Please ask them for your cards, for your letters, if I tried calling you. Please just ask them, whether it's now or in 10 years. The one thing I need you boys to know is I did not abandon you. I did not just walk out of your lives one day to never return, to never call,
Oh my God.
never show up. Regardless of what anyone tells you, I would never ever leave you boys. And I am so sorry if for even 1 second you thought that I did.
Always the victim.
If for even 1 second you
Always
thought that
the
I didn't
victim.
love you.
because that couldn't be further from the truth. You boys are my world, the reason I continue to wake up every day and fight to come home. You're my reason for living.
I can't
I
roll my eyes.
understand that you're
hard
in a
enough.
difficult situation, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I understand you guys have been through an extremely difficult time this past 4 years. You should never have to deal with such tragedy, and I am so, so sorry that you are going through this. You boys have the right to be angry, and sad, and confused, feel in survival mode, have questions. All of this is completely valid. Your feelings are completely valid. And one day when this is all over, we can sit down and talk about all of this
It's not going to be.
and sort it all out. And I promise you boys, one day it will be over.
Yeah, when you're dead.
I'm not perfect. I have succeeded and I have
Clearly
failed.
not perfect.
As a person,
That's
as a
putting
wife,
it mildly.
as a parent, we all do. I have done plenty of things I am not proud of. Some I regret, some I don't. Some I'm ashamed of, and some I'm not. I regret things I have done right in my life to later find out they were for the wrong people. I have said things I shouldn't have. I have done things I shouldn't have. Sometimes I have said what I should or not meant what I did say. There are things I can't change and long overdue apologies that I owe. There are would'ves and could'ves and should'ves. We all have them. We have all done them. And you boys will too one day, but in your own way. And that's okay. That's life, and we're human. Nobody is all good or all bad. We just get portrayed that way. You're going to
No,
succeed
you're all bad,
and
baby.
achieve amazing things in this life. You're also going to make mistakes and fail at some things. But use those opportunities to grow and to learn. They do not define you, and don't ever let other people make you think that they do. We are not defined by our best or our worst moments. We fall somewhere in the middle, ever evolving, and you boys are ever evolving. Secrets diminish self-respect. They lose trust. They make us lose ourselves. I fell in love with someone who wasn't your dad. Your dad fell in love with someone who wasn't me. I did things behind your dad's back. He did things behind mine. Don't keep secrets. Always put your spouse first. Your dad and I didn't always do this, but don't be like us in that aspect. We made mistakes that I know I regret. And I'm sure if he were here today, he would say that there are a few things he regrets as well.
Yeah, like meeting
Marriage
you.
is hard.
Ever.
Marriage takes work. Marriage takes love. Big love. Deep love.
This is nonsense. I'm
And
sorry.
you may think about divorce and you will have
Why
fights,
are we doing this?
but then you will make up and you will forgive each other. Because when your love is enough, your love keeps you together.
Except for if you kill your husband.
Your love is all you need to ignore the noise. Your love never fails. Sometimes your dad would want to throw in the towel on our marriage.
Yeah.
Or I would want to throw in the towel on our marriage. But we
But I
never
did
did.
throw the towel with
We
fentanyl.
always found our way back to each other.
God, she's pathetic.
I would pick up his towel, or he would pick up mine. We'd hand them back to each other and start again.
So manipulative.
Because our love never failed. We stopped keeping track of each other's wrongdoings, and we forgave, and we moved on, and we loved. And if I had to relive all of those hard days all over again, I would do it without question.
Holy crap.
Your dad and I were a lot of things, a mess of sorts sometimes. But we were this crazy, beautiful mess that made us a family, because our love was enough.
Oh my God. Lord have
Our
mercy.
hard days never outweighed our good days. Our weak moments never outweighed our most memorable happy days.
I'm going to throw up.
We always laughed more than we cried. We failed at some things, but we never failed at loving you boys. Our love was enough to make our house a home.
Was it now?
Our love was enough to stay together, to raise you boys.
Was it?
Our love was enough to forgive each other when others said that we shouldn't. To do things for each other others may disagree with. Our love was enough to protect each other, even though it may cost us everything. Love can make you lose yourself. Sometimes it makes you do things you know you shouldn't, but knowing it's not wrong at the same time. Because your spouse is your person, your love is enough.
I'm sorry. I'm having a really hard time with this. She does. She sounds like Lori. You're right.
One day, you will meet someone and fall in love and understand.
And please don't murder them.
That just your love is enough. Enough to withstand everything else. The noise of the world.
The beauty sale you've been waiting for is back. Tarte's Custom Fit. Score 7 full-size Tarte products for only $77 plus free shipping.
Bad choices, forgiveness. You will understand your love is enough, and your love never fails. Don't worry about what others think about your relationship. Don't worry if they would do things differently. You just love. And you love big, and you love deep, and you protect your love. Your dad and I didn't have it all together. Together, we really did have it all.
Are they going to be able to watch this shit?
Because we had you three.
I hope these kids can't see this. I mean, I'm sure they will someday. They could go back.
Don't let anyone choose the direction of your life by their opinions and their judgments. Being able to hold yourself together in the worst of situations doesn't make you emotionless.
I'll stop.
Separating personal and business life and emotions doesn't make you unreasonable. Resentment can get the best of others. Don't let it get the best of you. People will always have a lot to say about lives they've never lived. Live your life the way you choose to live it. Just be safe and be healthy and be happy. That's all that matters.
Go lecture on marriage. Oh, cat.
Sometimes people will want you to believe that life is simply black and white. That situations are black and white, but they're not. Life, situations, they are full of color. At the very least, shades of gray. Always question the color, even if you're only questioning the gray areas. Keep an open mind. Question situations and stay curious. You will have some people in your life tell you how their love for you is unconditional. But once your most private life has been revealed, you quickly find out just how conditional their love actually was. Choose the people you hold close to your heart wisely. And always be the friend that walks into somebody's life when everyone else chooses to walk out. Always remember, the only people you owe your loyalty to are those people who never made you question theirs. Every day you wake up, you get a second chance at life. To do whatever you want. Be whoever you want. To succeed in all your dreams. Take the day and run with it. It's a blessing. Don't take it for granted.
Birds.
Sometimes you'll have hard days when all you want to do is count all the ways things are going wrong or have gone wrong in your life. In that moment, stop, take a minute, take a step back, take a breath, and switch your thinking to count all the ways that it has gone right.
Oh, come on. Get
all
over
the good that has
it.
come to you, boys.
I'm done with her.
All the grace, the blessings, and the love. Remember that anyone can give up on something. That's the easy way out. True strength comes when everyone is expecting you to fall apart, but you hold it together, persevering through the hardest of times. Always persevere. Always prove them wrong. Because you boys don't give up, and you boys will never quit. There's always going to be someone out there ready to tear you down, misrepresent you, lie about you, tell half-truths, and judge you. They will judge you on decisions you do or don't make,
what you did or didn't do, what you did or didn't say.
Oh, we've judged.
They will take out of context and twist your words. They will judge you on your emotions or the way you grieve. You may show too much emotion. You may not show enough. They will tell you you're not grieving correctly. You're too angry. You're too sad. You're holding it together too well or not well enough.
Oh
Or
my
maybe
God.
you're too ambitious. They will judge you on your demeanor. If you cry, if you don't cry, if you don't do anything at all. And all of this will get misinterpreted into something that it's not, formed by the opinions of who's ever creating it. And then silence is also too often misinterpreted and misjudged. But when people behave that way, it has much more to do with them personally than it does you. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. It doesn't make it true. Remember who you are and what you stand
No
for,
remorse.
the truth, and ignore the noise. Ignore their noise. Ignore their egos, their entitlement, and their biased judgment. Those who abuse the power and the positions they hold will have a higher power to report to one day. And that higher power holds the final truth, their final truth.
Oh, that actually would be good.
Don't ever
Sometime.
let someone tell you how to show emotion,
She would have the
how
right.
you're supposed to react to any given situation.
Yeah.
Don't care what others think about you, what others say about you. Just let them talk. Just be you, be yourself,
Yeah, she
be
would.
authentic,
Perfect.
be genuine.
Corey.
Because those who truly know you, who truly love you, is all you need. Forgive those who turn their back
Oh my
on
God,
you,
there's more?
but never forget. Don't hold hate in your heart toward others. It only brings you down more than it does them. Apologize when you're wrong, even if that apology is long overdue.
Yeah.
You can't change what you can't change. You can't change the past. But you can take accountability when you mess up.
Exactly.
Admit when you make a mistake, even when it's embarrassing or humiliating, even when it can ruin relationships, careers, or your integrity. Be honest with yourself and those you need to. But never apologize for something you didn't do. Never admit to something you didn't do. And never beg for mercy for something you didn't do.
So there.
Don't
I'm
take
not
the
going to
easy way out.
apologize. I'm not going to admit it.
Always stand up for what's right, even if you find yourself standing alone or with a small group of people that love you. Believe in yourself and be brave. Never give up on your fight, no matter how long it takes, months, even years. Never give up on truth, justice, and the fight of corruption. When something is broken, fix it. When something doesn't make sense, question it. If money is paying for it, follow the money. Your brothers are your best friends. Your dad and I raised you boys that if you cared about nothing else in this world, you care about each other.
She's horrible.
Your brothers will always be there for you. They will always be your brothers. You love them. You protect them. You take care of each other. You support each other. You help each other. And you trust one another. You be loyal to one another. And you keep each other safe and healthy and happy. And you stay together no matter what.
Oh my God. Can we hit the buzzer? I can't.
You have each other's backs. Be patient with one another.
Oh my God.
Don't keep track of wrongdoings.
I'm up.
Let them go. Forgive. Move on.
Exactly.
Show compassion.
Move on.
Empathy toward each other. And never go a day without telling one another you love each other. Because you are never too old or too cool or too busy to love each other.
Oh my God. Is anybody else wanting to puke listening to her nonsense?
Don't
Yeah,
ever settle for just good. Go for great. In school,
your career in hunting,
Oh my God. Come
fishing,
on.
and your relationships and your goals exceed expectations. Be like your dad.
What? How dare you?
Be generous. Be charitable. Stay humble. Give when you have too much. Give more than you take. Help when others are in need.
We shouldn't need to listen to her own advice.
Serve your community. Be like your dad.
How dare her? Seriously?
Never stop learning. Through education, through people, through travel, culture, through business and friends. From your success and achievements, from your mistakes and failures. Be like your dad.
Be like your dad. How dare her? Don't be like your mom.
Love the outdoors.
Oh my God, here we go.
Find your peace, your therapy, your heart and soul
It's like a whole freaking book.
on the top of a mountain somewhere where it's quiet, where it's calm, where you will be able to feel the spirits of those that you love and miss the most. Be like your dad. Laugh. Laugh often. Laugh loud. Laugh when you want to cry. Laugh when you're mad.
Guess she had a lot of time to sit and write
Have
though.
that laugh that everyone recognizes and no one will ever forget. Even when you're gone. Be like your dad.
I hate when she says that.
Love your family. Through the good, the bad, the disagreements, the back and forth arguments. Choose forgiveness. Choose love. Choose happiness. Be a loyal brother.
Didn't we already say all this?
Be a noble son. Be like your dad.
She's not. She's full of crap. Be like your dad. She keeps saying that. Ugh. Like nails on the chalkboard when she says that.
Have the hobbies that bring you excitement and joy.
Oh my God. We already told him to
That
go.
give you a break from life. But build your life full of people and family who you love and that love you. Build a family that makes you happy to come home to every day. With a career that makes you hold your head high. Be the friend everyone wants to be friends with. The dad that everyone wishes they
Right.
had.
Yeah, she's trying to poke the bear. Exactly.
Be like your dad.
Be like your dad. Oh. Okay, sit down. Oh, this pregnant pause. We have to pause. This is so
As your
dramatic.
parents, your dad and I wanted to give you every opportunity or choice that we didn't have. We would do anything for you boys, or break our backs falling over obstacles and finding our way to be sure you had the best of the best. Even if we didn't always do it well or have the right answers or the words, we would give you everything that we had.
Did she spend months and months writing this? Because it sounds like it's like.
But the one thing
Novel.
I can't give you boys are the answers that you want the most. Because I can't give you something that I don't have.
Freedom.
An explanation that I just don't know.
Oh, come on. It's time to throw the book at her.
I've never lost a son. I've never lost one of my brothers, a nephew, or a best friend. But I did grow up with a single mother, and I have lost my father. I do know what it's like to wonder, what if Dad could have watched me graduate college,
Oh my God.
walk me down the aisle, be there for the birth of one of you boys? If only Dad were here. I do know what that's like. The lifetime of pain that brings, the sadness and the anger.
Is there no timer on this?
I would never wish that upon anyone. Especially you boys. My own sweet babies.
My sweet.
It's a lifetime of what ifs and if onlys. An empty hole in your heart where your dad's supposed to be. He's supposed to fill. He's supposed to walk through life with you, with us.
Yeah, you killed
our
him.
Family.
Oh my God.
I do know what that's like.
Oh my God.
So murder, an attempted murder. 4 years later. And it's still hard for me to say those words out loud. They get caught in my throat. I turn my stomach. And I try to avoid them as much as possible.
I would
Because
imagine.
it makes me physically sick to think about. But still to this day, I can't believe this is real sometimes. That this is our life. That this is my life.
I'm just flabbergasted at what she's saying.
Convicted of taking one of the people out of my life that filled it the most. My husband, father of my children.
I just can't.
Still in shock and still in disbelief. Accused and now convicted of such a heinous crime. Potentially costing me to never see you boys again. I just lost both of their parents. And there's no textbook answer on how or what we're supposed to do. How I'm supposed to react or move forward. And I'm so sorry you boys are being pulled through the middle of this absolute chaos.
You started it.
Between two families fighting that both love you so very much. Trust and assets, our home, none of it matters. You boys are what matter. Your safety, your health, mentally, emotionally, all of that should be being prioritized. I will and have always prioritized your safety. I am your mother, and that is my job. And for anyone to scare you otherwise is just cruel and hard.
Coachella Valley, fed up with high AC prices? Next Level Air Conditioning is here to give you amazing service with amazing prices. Right now, replace.
I'm sorry that 8 people from a jury who have never met you or me or our family
Those 8 people.
have the
They're
right to
horribly.
determine our future. And they did that in less than 3 hours. In a perfect world, there might be justice. But in a perfect world, nothing ever goes wrong.
Blame the jury.
Tragedies don't happen. Some think a verdict or the sentencing will be the answer that they seek or that they need, but it won't. It will only give them something else to think about for a while. It may help to disperse some of their hurt or their resentment, but it won't relieve it.
She is a piece of work.
This grief will outlive us all. The hundreds of lives that this has affected. The lifelong trauma you boys have suffered this last 4 years will outlive us all. You haven't had to just endure losing one parent, but losing two. And no child should ever have to go through that, especially when one was an unforeseen tragedy and the other based on injustice and a system we're supposed to trust.
So still on to it, not me.
Your dad's memory will always be the kind that's a physical hurt, the tightening in your chest when you think of him, particularly on days like today, his birthday, because he was so loved that no verdict or sentence will ever be able to release that kind of suffering. I'm broken without your dad.
Oh yeah.
Broken without you boys. God did not put me in this world to take a life.
Oh yeah.
God put me in this world to give life.
Just wait.
Your
You
lives.
need him.
And I don't know who or what I'm supposed to be if it's not a mother. Your mother. And as much as you've been influenced into thinking that dad was murdered, that I took your dad from you, that is completely wrong and an absolute lie.
Oh my.
And the thought of that is still as absurd today as it was 4 years ago. And just because someone may not be perfect, that's a far reach for them to be capable of murder. To kill someone, our someone. Your dad was in physical pain.
Oh, here we
A
go.
lot of
He took
physical
the fentanyl
pain.
because he was in pain.
And just because some people didn't know, or didn't want to see certain things, doesn't mean they weren't happening or they weren't true. He would have never left us intentionally. And I would have never taken him from you, from us. He was the glue that held us all together, that made us
Could have been an
us.
actress. We go now.
Every little boy needs their father. Is he supposed to teach you the things that I could never explain?
Where are the tears?
He's supposed to teach you and do things with you that only a dad can do. And only he could give you those life lessons between a father and a son.
Just a minute, person.
I would have never taken that from you boys. I know how much you need him, how much you love him. How much you aspire to be just like him. And I would have never taken that from you.
She's such a liar.
And I'm so sorry that I can't bring him back. For you, for me, for our family.
God, come on. Somebody dropped some of that Hantavirus on her.
I can beat myself up all day about how I could have been a better person or made better personal choices. And I can understand and accept you boys being upset.
Oh my God, we can't even fast forward this.
But murder? No, absolutely not. I will not accept that. And I will not be blamed for something I did not do. I will appeal and fight these charges no matter how long it takes. Not because I have anything to prove to this court, to the state, to the Richens family, or to the world, but I do have something to prove to you three. I do care what you boys think, and I need you boys to know the truth. And because of that, I will never quit or give up on this fight for justice, the truth, and coming home to you.
Thanks for being here, Mama.
So please, I know that right now you may not believe me, that you believe I took Dad from you, and that's okay. I still and will always love you, and I'm asking that you please just don't give up on me. I'm coming home, not today, not this year, but we're going to make this right. Our justice system will get this right, although this courtroom can't seem to. We have a long road ahead, but I will never quit fighting my way home to you boys. I love you more than these words could ever express. I loved you before I ever met you. And I will love you long after I'm not here to say it. And every minute of every day, I miss you boys more and more. And I think about how much I wish I could be with you. That this nightmare would go away.
She's awful.
And we could have our family back.
I wish I
This
would.
entire situation isn't fair to anyone, but it's especially not fair to you three. And you boys are all that matters. I want to remind you just how strong you are. That you are loved by so many. And I am beyond proud of you. Of everything you have overcome, everything you have achieved, and how much you bring into this world.
Hit her in the head. Knock some sense into her.
You boys have been through so much.
We know.
And I wish I could take away all your sadness and all your pain.
You could have.
Tell you how much Dad and I love you, and that everything's going to be okay. I wish I could count the freckles in your little cheeks.
Oh my gosh.
Read you books before bed.
This is all about her.
And help you with all your homework. I wish I could help you through your toughest nights. And hear your laugh through your happiest
I
days.
swear there should be a buzzer of time.
But for now, that's just not the way it is.
Nope.
You have to be strong. You have to remember that our strength grows in these moments. But we don't think we can go on. But we keep going on anyway, because we have to push through these hard days.
Somebody pull a fire alarm.
Because in the end, at the end of this war, it will be so worth it.
Evacuate.
But I need you boys to always keep pushing through these hard days. Because this will come to an end. I just need you to hang in there. Listen to your little hearts. Listen to your little bellies for the truth. Before you were told who to be and what to believe, remember who you are. Remember who we are. Remember our family. I will continue to call you every day, even if my calls are blocked. Just so you know that I'm here. I've always been here. And I will always be here. My cards, my letters, they will never stop. I will never stop. I love you forever.
Clearly, you're not going to stop talking. Oh, she done? Oh, thank God. Go sit down. Shall we applaud?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a fair reminder. While inside the courtroom, everyone involved in this process must be treated with respect. We cannot have any outward reactions inside the courtroom. If any of you feel overcome with emotion,
Okay, here he comes.
frustration, anger,
Well, I give the sentence.
of any kind, please remember just to look down. Keep your hands folded in your lap.
Okay.
The court has
We're allowed.
considered the following information. The evidence, information, arguments, and recommendations provided by counsel on the record today. Victim impact statements and other statements made on the record today regarding the appropriate sentence. And a pre-sentence investigation report as corrected on the record today, including the numerous statements attached to it. In addition, the court has considered each of the factors set forth in Utah Code 76-3-201 subsection 2B and has prioritized those factors as required by section 201-2C. Having considered the gravity and circumstances of the offenses for which Ms. Richens has been convicted, the number of victims, and available information regarding the history, character, and rehabilitative needs of the defendant, the court hereby orders that the sentences on counts 2 through 5 shall run consecutively to each other and to the sentence imposed on count 1. Moreover, the court exercises its discretion and chooses to impose no fines related to any sentence in this case. The court addresses the 5 counts on which Ms. Richens was convicted in reverse order. Ms. Richens, based on your conviction on count 5, third-degree felony forgery, the court hereby sentences you to an indeterminate prison term not to exceed 5 years.
That's for the
Based on your
forgery.
conviction on count 4, second-degree felony insurance fraud, the court hereby sentences you to an indeterminate prison term of not less than 1 and not more than 15 years. Based on your conviction on count 3, second-degree felony insurance fraud, the court hereby sentences you to an indeterminate prison term of not less than 1 and not more than 15 years. Based on your conviction on count 2, first-degree felony attempted aggravated murder, the court hereby sentences you to an indeterminate prison term of not less than 5 years, and that may be for life. Which brings us to the final issue, the appropriate sentence for count 1. Under Utah Code 76-3-207.7, there are only 2 options. An indeterminate prison term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life, or life in prison without parole. And the law requires that the court consider each option. Under a sentence of 25 to life, and considering the effect of the 4 consecutive sentences, the time that Ms. Richens has spent in custody, and the current practices of the Board of Pardons and Parole, Ms. Richens would likely serve approximately 30 years in the Utah State Prison before receiving her first parole hearing. By that time, she would be 66 years old.
Not long enough.
Under a sentence of life in prison without parole, Ms. Richens would be in prison for the rest of her natural life, unless the Board of Pardons and Parole determines by clear and convincing evidence at some future point that she is permanently incapable of being a threat to the safety of society, at which time the board would have the authority to release her. Under either scenario, Ms. Richens will be incapacitated, meaning structurally prevented from harming anyone outside the Utah State prison system for at least the next 3 decades, and perhaps much longer. But the potential impact on the survivors of the tragedy created by Corey Richens, most importantly, Eric Richens' 3 sons, is more difficult to predict. On one hand, if the court sentences Ms. Richens to life without parole, one or more of those young men may come to resent that the court eliminated any opportunity they might have in the future, decades into the future, to express an opinion as adults with substantial life experience about whether their mother should, for example, be allowed to die with dignity. On the other hand, if the court sentences Ms. Richens to 25 to life, one or more of those young men may spend the next 30 years questioning why the court failed to protect them from the prospect of the person who murdered their father being released from prison at some time in the distant future, perhaps when they have families and children of their own. The court's contemplation of how those young men may come to feel about today's decision some 30 years from now comes from a place of genuine concern for them and humility regarding the court's inability to predict the future. Sitting here today, it is simply not possible for anyone, not even those young men, to know how their view of this case may evolve over the next several decades. My hope is that every person affected by Eric Richens' death will, over time, find their way to a state.
Be the person strangers smile at before you even speak. You put on the axolotl beanie, and suddenly your outfit has a little mischief in it.
The court's duty is to make a decision, a weighty, long-lasting decision based on the best information available today. And the bottom line is this. Corey Richens was convicted unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt of attempting to murder Eric Richens, her husband, and the father of their 3 children. And then, having failed in her first effort of spending the next 17 days, not changing course, but doubling down, preparing to try again, and ultimately completing the act through the administration of poison. And for what? Money. All for pecuniary gain. A person convicted of committing that sequence of acts in that way and for that reason, and who causes the absolute tragedy that has befallen Eric Richens' sons and family. A person convicted of those things is simply too dangerous to ever be free. Accordingly, Ms. Richens, based on your conviction on count 1, first-degree felony aggravated murder, the court hereby sentences you to life without parole.
Yes. Oh, good.
You have the right to an appeal. You must file a notice of appeal within 30 days. You have the right to be represented by counsel on appeal.
I'm breathing a sigh of relief.
Mr. Bloodworth, anything further?
No.
Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor.
Your Honor, we anticipate filing a motion for a new trial and would like a date set. We have a substantial record in this case. We will file the notice of appeal of the conviction and the sentence and ask that everything be stayed pending the motion for a new trial as we're entitled to do under Rule 40.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Excuse me, but we think we need sufficient time to file a motion for a new
All
trial.
right. Well, they're trying to get a new trial, but whatever.
Record that exists in this case longer than the typical 14 days, because this is not only the trial itself, but years of litigation and motion practice that preceded the trial. We were hoping that we could get an agreed deadline of 90 days to file a motion for new trial, mainly
Whatever.
because for half of June I'm out of the country, and for half of July, Lewis is out of the country. Normally we would ask for 60, but
Did you hear
both of us aren't available. So we're asking for 90 days.
Murdoch's getting a new trial?
Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, the state objects. The rule
Because that
provides
court
for
reporter?
14 days. You can't imagine this is a decision that was made today, I think. Council's had the last 53 days to prepare the motion, 14 days pursuant to the rule. I appreciate that it's a lengthy record in this case, but the issues available for the trial are fairly narrow.
I just want to see them holler off. Then we can end.
There is one other thing, Your Honor, on that as to why we need the extra time. So we have asked the county to retain an expert to assist to do a declaration for attached to our motion for new trial. And it's going to require us to go before a separate entity to decide whether that funding is approved, and that just takes time. So that's another issue we need.
Sit down. Take your prisoner.
I feel like there's more that I need to know in order to make this decision. And so I can also appreciate why defendant is concerned about the 14-day deadline so they do not lose that opportunity. Sitting here today with very little information and the state having very little opportunity to respond to this idea, I'll extend your deadline to 28 days. But within that time, if you want to file a motion to extend it, Ms. Nestor, with more detail, you have 14 days to file that motion.
Okay.
Not a clarification. So the court.
14 days from now, they have an opportunity. They have a deadline to file a motion to extend the 28-day deadline. If they don't, it's 28 days.
Okay. Bye-bye, Corey.
I acknowledge that that 28-day deadline may cause practical difficulties for the state's team, and if I need to extend the state's response deadline, I will certainly give that fair consideration.
Understood.
Ms. Nestor, Ms. Lewis, anything else?
I know. That's what I'm waiting for, Leighton. Take her off
Ms.
the
Richens,
death
you are
row.
hereby
No, not.
committed
She's
to
not
the
going
Utah
to
State Prison and remanded to the custody of the Department of Corrections. This court is in recess. Please follow the deputy's instructions.
Bye-bye.
We're off the record.
Bye-bye, Corey Rickens. Go rot. All righty. Oh, I wanted to see them get her out of there. I don't think it's going to happen. Go. That nonsense speech she wrote to her kids, at some point they're going to hear it because they're going to get old enough to go YouTube it or whatever. Okay. Let's stop sharing. All right. This was a super longer than I anticipated live stream this morning. Thank you everyone who's been here today. I really appreciate you. And we will keep doing our Wednesday lives as long as I'm not back to work. And remember, the end of June, I am going on vacation, so I probably won't be doing them then. I am considering maybe doing another live at some point in the week. I might bring back my Saturday lives over here. And again, like I said, I'm not really Left Undone is monetized. This channel is not. And my Beyond the Empty Nest is also monetized. And right now, because I am on medical leave from work and California has state disability, I'm not allowed to make any income. I can only get the income that they give me from the disability. So everything I'm doing right now for sure is over here on my non-monetized channel. So if you are from Left Undone or you see anybody else that thinks I disappeared, if you could just direct them over to Chatting with Kathy, I'd appreciate that. And I think that's it. I hope you guys all stay cool. It's 94 degrees here right now. It's supposed to get to 97. And yeah, so maybe I'll go in the pool. I don't know. All right. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. Please like if you have not hit the like button. The algorithm looks for more people like you so that it knows who liked it and to show my videos in front of and my live streams in front of the audience that is similar to you. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And I can't see my, all right. All right. Stay safe, stay well. And I will, I'm sorry, I got like things behind there. Love it. All right. Stay safe and stay well. Stay safe and stay well. And I'll see you soon. Bye.